our viewers, and certainly we shall push into the depth of the conversation. And starting from my extreme left, I have a lady in yellow, and many of you know a lot of things about yellow, but I don't think I will identify what that yellow means to her, and perhaps she will tell us. But it is Natasha Ahereza. Natasha is the Secretary General of the National Resistance Movement Youth League. Natasha, good morning. Welcome to the show.
Good morning, Philip. Thank you so much. I'm so much humbled to be here. Once again, my name is Natasha Ahereza, the National General Secretary of the NRM Youth, and I can't wait to contribute to today's discussion. Thank you
so much for coming, Natasha, from the NRM Youth League. Greetings to the team you lead, and indeed, that's a national constituency.
Yes.
I told you the kind of people we have today. And next to me is Helen Zion Sayuni, President, Uganda Young Democrats. Madam President,
yes,
good morning.
Good
Thank you for being with us this morning.
Good morning, Philip, and good morning, viewers. Thank you for keeping it Family TV, and a happy Women's Week.
Yes.
We hope you're enjoying the women's celebrations. Of course, for us who understand the dynamics, we started earlier. So I hope you're enjoying the Women's Week and month.
More interestingly, in Uganda, what we normally do is we do not just celebrate the day, we celebrate the week, but also the entire month.
The entire month,
I think it's one of the unique features you'll find with Uganda. We don't take things for granted. We make sure we put in that.
Only that this holiday is on a weekend, you know.
I don't know who to blame for that, but I want to start with you, Helen. Look here. We talk about women and leadership. And one of the things that come out is, especially for the women, the girls in the communities out there, they ask, we see the people that are in the leadership at district level, at sub-county level, parish level, at national level like yourselves, and they ask, how do these people even get there? Where do you even get the idea of thinking about getting into the leadership? And in any case, are they not even afraid of getting into those spaces that for a very long time have been dominated by men? I want us to start there. How does Sayun even pick interest in politics?
Did I pick interest or interest picked me? These are things that sometimes you cannot be able to discuss and you know very well. But you look into the background, and what around you shows you that you're going to be a leader. Because the discomfort that comes with seeing things not right, and then you want to make them right, is I think what drives us all the day, all the time. And one thing we want to appreciate is that at least by the time we've grown up, there has been some way for us to, you know, maneuver. It's not like those days where it was very, very difficult. At least, you know, we have pioneers of this struggle, women that have been there, women that try to make
the
way.
Women movement,
the women movement,
the
Honorable Matembes, the Honorable Winnie, that we still look up to now. So that has been not so hard for us, because at least there has been some way created. Of course, not to say that it is as easy as it should be. It's a bit still hard to maneuver, because it is still seriously well and male dominated. But you know, it is about the courage, and it is about the picture that you have in your mind, what you want to push for, and what you dream of seeing the society that you live in. We are in a society that we have the majority as women. About 55% of the population are women. That drives us also to having a very young female generation, because we have, of course, the youngest generation. So what do we want to see as a generation is what drives us to here where we are. Yeah.
All right. Thank you, Helen, for that. And Natasha, look here. You see, getting into the leadership, and now being at the national level of the party's youth league. And one asks, to begin with, what inspires Natasha to get into this politics, but most importantly, what shapes the positions she takes in terms of making sure that let me go and compete, and I will compete for this position, and I am actually confident I will win it. What shapes those decisions? And in any case, what moments can you point to and say, this is where I looked at and said I should do this and I can do it?
Thank you so much, Philip. Like Helen has said, we thank God that we are a young generation that grew up in an era where we found women were at least given space to shine. We well know that way back, it was a male-dominated society, that even when a woman's dream was to take lead power or exercise themselves in leadership, it was always not possible for them. Also, to say that for us as believers, we always say that God's timing is always the best. When you believe in God, everything comes by themselves in their own time. Also, yeah, it takes courage sometimes for a woman to take over some of the big decisions. Like you have said, yeah, it's a big office. How did I think about me going for it and, winning it? It's so tight. And also the fact that we still have positions where we still compete with men. She's Madam President, but she was competing with men. The same applies to me. My position, I was also competing with men. But also having mentors. Having mentors, it's very key. Like I've said, I would maybe also add on by applauding the government that is in power, which has at least picked up big women to come and serve in very big position in the hierarchy of the government. Starting with the vice president is a lady, the prime minister is a lady, right honorable speaker is a lady. That alone also gives us, energy as young women coming up into these spaces, looking up to them. We say, if this one did it, then that means I can also.
Sure.
Thank you.
Thank you, Natasha. And you see, Helen, whereas we talk about these strides we've made as a country, as a people, we have women in the different offices from the highest to the lowest. It is also true that we still live in a highly patriarchal society, in a society where at times women are looked down upon, in a society where views will come out and they say, no, we can't have a woman in that position. They can't serve here. And certainly so in the leadership, being a president of the UID, being a secretary general, being a member of parliament, being a speaker, or anything that you are in society, I am sure there are those voices that say, but a lady leading us in this role. I want to understand, how do you react, and going forward, make sure some of these stereotypes, tags that are put onto women do not affect you as you lead a community that has both men and women?
You've reminded me during our delegates conference when I was campaigning on the podium, a certain gentleman shouted, "I cannot be led by a woman." And UID had only had one female president who was almost overthrown by now the Secretary General of DP, Gerard Siranda. There was some scuffles. That lady almost lost the seat. So when you come into something that you already understand, and of course when you have goals that you want to achieve, you cannot be deterred. What the major issue is the goal, where the goalpost and where the ball is. Your job when I'm in this position that I'm in, you do not want to listen to the people that are shouting at you and all that. For your focus is, I came into this position, this is what I want to achieve, and this is what is on my table. I think that is the major issue, that I am serving young people. I have their mandate. I was not picked. I went into an election and won, a very heated one. So at least you know that you have people that are behind you, supporting you, and the rest is background noise. You see, women have the same capacity and can serve on merit, just like men. We have our issues as women, which we do not want to say they are not there. They are there, but then when we are put into positions, we serve just like any other person serves. And not to say, even men have shortcomings. So when men are shouting that, we don't want to be led by women and what, even men that have led us, haven't you seen men that have led us almost into fire? So that is the question that you have to always ask. There is a lot of wars going on in the world, for example, as a result of decisions of men. There is really not a big woman in the middle there. So it is about what you're chasing and what you want to achieve. If you have a focus, if you have something that you're focusing on and the goal that you want to achieve in these leadership positions that we have, definitely there is nobody that can stop you as a woman.
All right. And Natasha, it
can never really be about gender, but what you want to achieve. You
spoke mentorship and guidance. And perhaps you would care to be generous enough and share with us some of those people that have mentored you, or the people you look up to, but too, as a lady, a young girl who wants to get into leadership, what kind of mentor do you need, and what do you look at to say that I will, let me pick interest in leader A or leader B, to say that I will look at what they do and learn from them, but going forward, be able to realize my potential? Yes.
Thank you so much. I would say all of us, one of our biggest mentor is God. Keep yourself in prayer, everything you'll be mentored. Then me now to our society. As young girls growing in political spaces, leadership spaces, work spaces, whatsoever, we would wish to be associated to people who lead as examples. Not people who lead because they have power, people who lead because they are in big positions, but who lead as examples. In this country, like I've said, we are blessed to have very many ladies who are in big positions, and we thank God for that, and thank the government of NRM who has seen potential in women, to trust them with a mandate that they can also serve the country like men have always done. We have seen them lead. We have seen them exercise their power. We have seen them speak of young people and everything. I would say that every lady in this country in big position in any leadership is a mentor to a fellow young lady who is developing. Sometimes it depends on how often do they meet. I would maybe request that one of the ways how young people should be mentored is by creating time for one another, because we have a challenge here that many people who are already in big positions lack trust for young people, both, even if it's boys and girls. So that is the challenge we are having. They need to create spaces of mentorship for these young ladies, because that's what they want. Like I've told you, we have people there who just feel inspired because they have seen me on a certain TV speaking.
But do they really fear people, or they just have insecurity for their jobs?
I don't know. They know better. I can't tell, but that's what has always been the saying, that young people disappoint, young people this, young people that.
You see, Natasha, and if you allow me, this is very important. When we speak mentorship, we are speaking about tomorrow, because today, for example, Her Excellency Jessica Alupo is the Vice President. When she's out of that office, wherever that will be, someone must take that office. And we are proud to see another lady take it up. When the speaker is out of that office, whenever that will be, we want to see another person take it up, and it does no harm if we have another lady take it up. And in the mentorship, it is the way we are grooming people that will take up those positions. Now,
And
at times when we get, for example, mistakes from the people that are up there, it is put on everyone that looks like them. When we have a female leader in an office falling short of their responsibility,
it is a problem of women.
Those women cannot serve. We knew.
like I've said, there have always been a saying that young people are the leaders of tomorrow. But then the leaders of tomorrow were also not given spaces. It means nothing. Yeah, it's true. We have many people here on ground who have been in positions of power for over 30 years and above. But those same people have young people down there mentoring. I think it used to be then, because of late I had, now like in my party, we have what you call senior cadres and junior cadres. Senior cadres are in positions of decision making and everything, but then young cadres are looked at as young people they can't trust, who are greedy, who are selfish, like, you know. But then I don't subscribe to that. I think young people coming out to show that we are ready for work, it means they are ready, or they have seen something they need to correct. So it's upon these big people in offices to give them a chance, you know, to listen to them, to mentor them, to talk to them, rather than saying, rather than hiding from them, thinking that young people, all of them are always looking for money, you know, such funny words they always speak about young people. So yes, like my sister has said, I don't know if it's about insecurity of their positions. I don't want to say that they know better, but yes, we can't keep saying young people have nothing to prove to take up such big positions when you have not given them a room actually to show you that they can really. Trust them with some of the positions, trust them with some of the offices, and judge them according to how they have worked rather than shielding them.
The inferiority complex, lack of self-esteem, and going forward, the lack of value among many young people sometimes scares people to trust them with responsibility. Helen, how can these young girls in our communities build value around themselves, build confidence to be able to actually stand out and say, I'm interested in that and I can go for it?
Who is saying young women don't have value?
A number of people say.
There are also those older ones who do not have value. It shouldn't be about the young people. And, you know, they overjudge young people. But let me tell you, we have very focused and very hardworking. If you walk around this town and see how young people struggle and hustle out life, every time someone tells me that young people are not serious, I just don't understand them. They are either not on ground or they are in their own world. But I can tell you, every young woman out there has something they envision that they want to do and what they want to become. The problem is that we are living in a society that we have a big is it called generational gap? We have generational gap, we have financial gaps, we have the word gap appears to be over
in the social life, in the social gaps, life, in business, there's gaps.
Every young woman, when you go into these villages, you'll meet a young girl dropped out of school. Maybe they do not have school fees, but they will tell you they would like to become someone. So the major issue is that we even extending the major social services that would encourage these young people to become someone. when we talk about there's been a very crucial topic of menstrual hygiene. Have we even helped these young girls who are even unable to access menstrual hygiene to have the courage that they could have? Because let me tell you, that is among issues that affect a well-being of any woman outside there. It affects their mental health, and as long as someone's mental health is not okay, they will have something lacking in them. So have we put the services that would enable these young girls, these young men outside in our societies to, you know, have the courage, have the confidence that they can do something and they can serve this country?
Well,
it is
speaking
something
of
that we should think about so much.
Very important issues there being raised here as far as the girl child is concerned, but also looking at young women in leadership. And certainly at that very moment we pause the issues and get into a very short break, and after that we are back with more of what women and leadership look like, and especially getting to the lens of youth leaders. I have the UID in studios, I have the NRM party, and largely people that are leading the youth of this country into the next generation. Good morning.
Issues at hand. This is Church of Uganda Family TV. Enriching lives. Regulated by the Uganda Communications Commission. This is Church of Uganda Family TV. Enriching lives. Regulated by the Uganda Communications Commission. Issues at hand.
Once again, a very good morning. Welcome back from that very short break. It is Issues at Hand here on Church of Uganda Family TV, and we are discussing things that matter in our country, in our community. And this morning, I am privileged to host very powerful youth leaders in this country, leaders at the national level, from the National Resistance Movement, from the Democratic Party, and certainly we are having a conversation around how they are navigating the challenges that come with leadership, but also looking at how the other females and girls in our societies can continue to get into these spaces and make a contribution in the growth, in the progress of this country. And certainly the politics, we all know that many times challenges emerge, the violence that comes with, for example, the electoral season, the indecision, the misconduct from some of our leaders, but also the electorate, and they are sharing with us how they have been able to go through this entire scheme of things. And where we left off, we spoke about the challenges that are there. But now, you see, the government of Uganda has been very deliberate in making sure they make significant steps in assisting the girl child, assisting women get into levels they had not been to in previous times. And one of the things government has done is the concept of affirmative action. Whether you look at our constitution, but also in other institutions that are not necessarily bound by law in our country, women have been given specific and special attention. In our parliament, we have special seats for women. We have the Ministry of Gender that has specific departments that look at women affairs. And by extension, the President of Uganda has been so deliberate in making sure he appoints women in different positions of governance, ministers, the Vice President, heads of commissions, heads of departments, heads of agencies. We've had a number of them. And looking at their contribution here on, I want to talk to the leaders I have in studio today on how they would assess the contribution made by women in our leadership. Have they met the standard? Have they contributed to the expectation of the people? And going forward, should we actually trust more women with leadership, or should we think twice and probably go the other way, which we would not advise, at least from Church of Uganda Family TV. And coming back from the break, Natasha, will start with you. Many leaders are in the different positions that are shaping the country. You spoke about this earlier, but we talk about their performance. How would you assess the performance of leaders, especially at the top level, their contribution, the way they have been in these offices? Have they served according to expectation? Is there something they need to improve, and how is that?
Thank you so much. To my view, as a person, our ladies in big power have performed to their best. Yeah, we all know that where there is good, also there is something bad. But they have done their best. They have served this country, because also you need to know that in a society where you're competing with female and male gender, there is a road that comes with those positions. I would say that they have done their best, and also, yeah, to keep being empowered in those big powers and serve the country.
Thank you. And Helen, building on that, you see, there is always that scale of judgment, whether you like it or not. And people are like, okay, we trusted you, but what are you doing? Are you serving to our expectation? Are you meeting the standard? And many times when people are making decisions in the forthcoming, for example, election cycle, even gender sentiments come in, and they're like, okay, the previous time we trusted more ladies. Have they done something better than the men did? What is your assessment of that?
You see, it's when we have women in the big positions in government that people are decrying of corruption. People are crying of poor social services, and people are crying of instability in the country. I do not want to scare the women that we have, but definitely there is a lot to ask about them. We must question what they are putting on table on our behalf as women, because now when you listen to people, everyone is telling you, we've had women, what have they put on the table? So there is a bigger question there. When we have women is when you look at I was looking at some of the schools that we have in this country, and when you look at their school fees paying, it's like university. And we are having women in leadership who do not want to think about the lay women and whether we are affording life. I think their life also has been so lavish that we think they are not part of the realities on ground. And you know, I cannot shy away to tell you that, for example, if you ran a public poll asking about the corruption figures that we have in the country, I can bet we will have the winner as a female. We will have a winner of the cup as a female, which we are not proud of, but which we have to own and say, can we correct these mistakes that that they have made? Because in as much as they are doing all that, it's not to our behalf. It's on their behalf, and they will be judged for that.
True.
So as a country, we are proud that we have women in positions. What we are not proud of is their effectiveness, which we think with the time we will pull up our socks, because we have women who can actually perform and who are down there doing great work. We have, though they are being suppressed, of course, that one we cannot. You have the Sarah Bidetes who speak about rule of law and constitutionalism, and they are very proud of it, and that is their speciality. And we are proud of them. We have the Miriam Matembes who still talk about women empowerment, and we are proud of them. So there are a few buttons that we need to touch so that we correct up things, but we are so far proud that we are at somewhere we are on the table.
Thank you. And Natasha, this was exactly my next step. You see, the challenges will always be there in our society, but before we focus on the challenges, what are some of those success stories in the women emancipation journey, in the service of women in the country, that you can point to and say, here as women, we are proud that this was achieved in this country? Maybe a woman was involved, maybe not, but it is something that contributed to the progress of that whole agenda, and certainly to the betterment of our country, Uganda.
Thank you so much. I've had my sister Helen saying that if they had made polls like today regarding corruption of Uganda, for people to identify women who would take the first position. We all know that women... A woman.
Yes.
But, okay, a woman would take the first position. We all know that women are the mothers of this nation. There is an incident that happened at the parliament when the whole country ringed on Right Honorable Anita Among that she was corrupt. It was viewed from an incident where she was seen supporting a certain group of women with a certain amount of money, and people came out with their views that that was a lot of money to be given to such a group. This comes back to say that women are the mothers of this nation. Why Helen has a view that a woman would take the lead on being seen as corrupt is because you know what comes with someone being a mother. They are lenient, they are sympathetic, they are, they always want to see their children, be up there. Like the way I grew up with my mother, I want to tell you that I was forever the favorite of my mother than the boys. I don't know why I can't tell, but yes, we have
and
seen
the
very...
boys are always complaining about that, but topic for another day.
So yes, we have very many successful stories. Like I've told you, we thank God that now women have been brought on high tables of decision making, from grassroots structures, talk about village level, parish level, sub-county level, district level. We are represented everywhere.
True.
Even in the parliament, we have special seats for women members of parliament. Even us as youth, we have a special seat of National Female Youth MP. So, and we have seen how these young and old ladies have continuously served us spiritually, physically, in everything. And I applaud them.
Thank you so much. And so to say that, for example, for the last 15 years, apart from a few months in between, the Speaker of Parliament has always been a lady. From the Right Honorable Kadaga to the few months of the Right Honorable Olanya, then coming back to the Right Honorable Anita Among. But we also know that now for the last 5 years, the Vice President, we know that the Prime Minister, when you go to the ministries, from education to energy to health to so you have a lot lands, and these are some of the biggest ministries you can talk about. And certainly I think government of Uganda is really doing everything it can to make
and
sure
it
that
has really
women
done the best choice.
Certainly, I
Yes.
want to believe. But Helen,
Just wait. I don't know why when I talked that the woman would win, why she brought a certain individual.
but going forward, Helen, and we can have more of that conversation. But what should the future of women leadership look like in Uganda, and by extension the entire world? Because it is not a matter of Uganda; it is a matter of the world. What should women leaders going forward look like, and what should we expect going forward?
The whistleblowers of women emancipation had a vision. And the vision was not only to bring a few women on the table, but to bring women on the table, and not just to be on the table, but to make effective decisions, and to be somewhere where they can be listened to, which we appreciate that we are halfway there with having the affirmative action, with even the improvements that we can talk about a few of them. With now the death of mortality rate going so down, because by the time I was growing up, you could literally hear like every day someone has died on the road producing, but they've gone, going down, depreciating. Only that we still have something to deal with the young girls dropping out of school. It is still at a high rate that we need to think about it and look for an everlasting solution for it. Because I think the government has tried to bring the Bonaba Some, UPE and USE to curb that. But I can tell you in some of the schools in villages, they still pay a lot. Because I can tell you, if you, for example, tax a parent 50,000 for a child to go to school, their parents in this country, there are people that have not touched 50,000 in 3 months. They have barely, their income has been around 3,000, 2,000. So we still have a lot to push so that we get away with these issues. We need to see our women educated. We need to see women in not just in positions, in bigger positions, but in positions where they can make decisions. Because we also have women who are in positions in our government, but they're like clowns. They don't make any position. They have been put there. There are pictures of women to just say that women are in positions, and they literally make no decision. They do not have any focus about anything that concerns women empowerment. We had a conversation about the women MPs in Parliament. And if I may ask, for example, in the past 5 years, is there anything that they've tabled that concerns the women, that concerns the well-being of women and how to deal with how women should, have a greater life.
And you see, there has been this conversation of is it about time we repurpose this concept of affirmative action, the special seats? Have they delivered for the woman in Uganda? Should we rethink about how we should involve the woman as opposed to just inviting them to parliament and they sit there?
We do not want.
I don't know. What's your thought on
We do
this?
not want to welcome that discussion where men are saying those positions are ineffective because they are the ones that are leading the conversation. But also our side.
The speaker is a lady.
She is a lady, but then what we are saying is that you see, waliwo olugero in my language. Ende kuzara omwiru niye kuzara something. So the same, meaning the same pregnancy that can produce a child who is not so brilliant can produce a same child who is very brilliant. So we do not want to have that discussion where people are bundling women into thinking that all of them are ineffective. No, we have the Sarah Opendis who have been very vocal in parliament. Of course, not to say that they do not have the bigger positions. Probably if they had, they would have done something. We still have the Bethel Rimas of the opposition who have something to say. So we cannot say that all of them are not saying something. What we are saying is that is there something that they are doing for women effectively in the country? Because the whole question for me, I think, wouldn't even be about women, but the leadership style that we have in the country.
All right. Thank you for that. And you see, at Church of Uganda Family TV, we've made it our business to celebrate women. And we have a theme for that says strong woman, strong family. And the family, we look at it in the concept of, yes, the family at home, but also the family as your community, the family as Kampala, the family as Uganda, the family as DP, the family as NRM. And we believe that when women in these spaces are strong, then those institutions are actually strong. And in the same line, I want to, we love family, but one of the things that have always kept family together is women. However, today, from the family of the home to the family of the institutions we talk about, we see a lot of fighting. There is a lot of disagreement, and that disagreement, people cannot talk to each other. Which roles can be played by the women? Because among the many things, women represent love, represent care, represent harmony in our society. But we are losing it somehow. How can we draw back and make sure we come back to this table and certainly we get the peace and sustainability of our societies, of our families, of our institutions, stemming from the contribution of women? I think you will both make a contribution to that in a minute. Natasha, I should start with you.
I think before I talk about that, I want to add on what you asked. I think we don't need to keep looking at what women in power have done, what they have failed to do. Yes, we are here celebrating women's every year, and like you have said, you thank the government or you thank the people that now it has been even been made like a celebration for the whole month. Yeah, we have been celebrated for the whole month and they are still celebrating us. But we need to look at some of the things. Yes, we are celebrating women every now and then. What are some of the things we have failed to do and what should we do? I think those are some of the things that we should be tabling, regardless of any other thing. We have very many, one, from the last status of the population, women have the highest percentage in Uganda, and the same women are now competing with men in actually prostitution, in drug abuse, teenage pregnancy, dropping out of school, here and there, very many things. So we should be identifying such things that are happening, and we sit down to discuss on how we can solve them, regardless of who, regardless of what. I think that is what we have failed to look at as Ugandans, not actually as women in power. Then also, as you have asked, you well know that women are in a society where they are still competing with men, that spaces, even when women are empowered, they are still competing and competing very highly. So yeah, fights are here and there, but they are fighting for power and who can serve. And to me, I would forever be there for women, to pray for them to take over those spaces, but also use them, to develop their country and speak about the women and the mothers and the young kids and young ladies who are there suffering.
Yeah, sure. And Helen, yes, the women and the peace of our society, how do we reclaim that? How do we rebuild that and see that? Because you see, many countries have lost it. We don't want to take that line. Is there a way we can get back to the table, talk to one another, and see that we continue keeping our country in the peace that we have enjoyed for some time, and certainly going forward, see that even our children, our grandchildren, and future generations find this country intact?
Well, we thank God because, when God looked at Adam helpless, God created, when God created Eve and said, you can have, and that is when that's where we started defining a man and a woman from. So for me, I still think that women naturally are gifted, that wherever they are, they will do something, that wherever they are, if it is peace, we thank God we have the God-given peace, though the NRM continues to, brag around that they have given us peace, which I think God has just appreciated that this country deserves peace.
And they say, yes, God, but through people.
God, yeah, through people, but God is God, my friend. God is God, and we appreciate that He has given us the peace. So, as mothers, we have to continue praying for this country. When you're given a position, please do your best to perform. Because we are co-creators, we are a representation of God on this earth. So when you're given a position as a woman, please know that you have people that are looking at you, know that you have a very big population of about 55% looking at you, waiting for you to perform on their behalf. So whoever has a position should perform. And we move this country forward because this is the only country that we have. We do not have another Uganda. From here you go to God. God calls you. So wherever a woman is, however small that position is, at least do something. And if there is chance, please lift up a woman. If there is chance, give a girl some. If you find a woman, give her some pads, give her some pen, give her a book, and that's how we shall be able to lift each other.
All right.
Yeah.
That's very important. And now, dear ladies, as we get to the end of our conversation, the one thing you cannot leave minus doing is give the women out there a special women's message from the bottoms of your heart. Because a lot has happened, women have done a lot, they have gone through a lot of things, and what we do here is we appreciate them and we say thank you. Thank you for the contribution you make in our societies, thank you for the contribution you make in our families, in business, in academia, in the politics, and even from you. Please, a message in like a minute, just a message, but also celebrating and congratulating the women out there on reaching the International Women's Day 2026. I don't know, I should start with you, Natasha. Women's Day message.
Thank you. My Women's Day message goes to especially young women, not old women. Old women, yes, I celebrate you. Thank you for being our mothers. But then my message mainly goes to young ladies who are there down, deep down, trying to thrive, trying to make sure they get there into these big spaces. My message is that keep yourself in spirit, pray to God, make sure that your life is given to Christ. And also make sure that whatever you're doing, you get out of those comfortable zones, because it's only you who is going to tell yourself that you can make it. No one is going to remind you that you can actually make it. Those beautiful ladies outside, you're calling your mentors, your role models, they had to first take a step to get out of those comfort zones. They vowed to themselves that they can, and yes, they did it. And if they did it, therefore you can also. Thank you. I remain Natasha Ahereza, the General Secretary, National Youth League.
Thank you, Natasha, for that Women's Day message. And Helen, talk to the women.
Philip, if given a chance, I would still ask God to make me a woman. Wow. And I'm telling you that the first day I'll see God, I'll tell him, thank you, God, I was a woman on this earth. Because when God was creating a woman, I think he put extra effort. Mm-hmm. You see, when you see women, you always see that there was an extra effort when God was creating
so I think
woman.
She's being deliberate at attacking us, but in any case.
I am just appreciating that God saw that a woman was very important, put in extra effort in creating. And that's why we even have we have the factory we co-create on behalf of God. And to the women outside there, you have to appreciate the effort that God put in. Love yourselves and make sure you have a goal that you want to achieve, and chase that goal and achieve it. This country has a big space for all of us, and we all fit. What we have to do is to strive to be better. If you're in school, please read books. This country needs educated women to thrive. And if you have an opportunity, give it to a woman. I can tell you, women always put extra effort in performance, and they will always deliver. Give an opportunity to go to school to a woman, give an opportunity for health, give a woman a book, give a woman hope, and love women and care for them.
All right. Thank you so much, Helen and Natasha, for those messages, and certainly the women there here will continue to say that thank you so much for the contribution you've made so far and through the generations in making sure things happen in this world, and from the most important of making sure that we have life on this planet, because without you, then you and I are not actually here. So thank you so much for that, but also going forward, taking care of everyone, taking care of community, creating love, happiness, joy in our societies. We do appreciate that, and most importantly, in the professional fields, you have excelled, and we are so proud of you. Thank you so much. And colleagues, Helen, Sayun, Zen, thank you so much for your time and for making time for this show.